So, hello. Um, I start with a little talk, and then you're invited to say something, ask, maybe share if you want to. This is talking about there's no one. There's no one already. There's nowhere to go. There's no need to do anything different than what's going on because everything is already complete. And that's strange because when we're having our living in the world and living your life and things like that. And it always seems like there's something not satisfying. It's not enough. There's something I'm not good enough or something else is not good enough. Trying to make it better, trying to feel better, trying to do and think about what's going on. Maybe look at yourself and thinking, I should do that in a different way or all that. Me, that seems to be very much here inside the body is that construct that's being there. And there's always, when there's me, there's something going on like, I'm not good enough. This is not right. So me is when there's separation, it's a divider. So there's always, when there's separation, there's right and wrong. There's always right or wrong or better or worse. There's two. Living in duality, we think. We live in a dual world, you could say. Dual means two. There's always two the opposites, like right, wrong, before, after. Everything is two. And this is talking, no, there's only one. There's no two. There's only two when there seems to be a person with someone in it, an individual. And thinking you live your life with a free will and choice, living in time and distance. It's a dream. It's a dream. There's already no one, so there's no need to look for no me or something like that. There's no need to understand everything about life. Some people can be very clear. There's no need for clarity. It's very, very simple. But when there's me, there's some complication because there's always a feeling like this is not good enough and trying with thoughts, maybe trying to make it right and do the right thing and looking around what's better and how should I do this and how can I take care for my body maybe or all that. This is not an advice or something like where to go or how to feel happier or things like that. There's not seeing someone. So there's no one, there's no inside, there's no outside. All that abstracting what we can do about time, before, after, inside, outside, all that consequences. There are no consequences. That's amazing because everything in life seems about consequences and the right choice and all that. And it's very important that you do the right thing because, and there's something going on about behaving. It's a lot about behaving. This has nothing to do with that. This is about freedom. But when they're talking about freedom, wait one moment. Normally we think it's about a feeling of freedom, a feeling of happiness. Life is freedom, but it's not a feeling of freedom. It's already free because it's everything. It's everything. So there's no choice because when there's me, it seems like I'm between life and it's happening to me. There's always something, it's happening to me or what I'm saying is happening to another person. So it's all that in between, that me. When that's out of it, there's only life. There's walls and feelings and thoughts, but they are not happening to me. They're apparently happening. Apparently, that's another one. Because when there's me and I'm here and this is my body and I'm inside and circumstances are happening to me and I have to deal with that and all that. And then there's hearing, no, nothing is real. There's only when there's me in the story and going on. Everything seems suddenly real and solid, so everything also seems, some things more than other, seems important. And then there can be a moment, or maybe longer, that suddenly like, oh, it's an appearance. Nothing is real. Nothing is solid. It's so believed, and it's not only in the mind, but it's so embodied and so normally not even questioned, that everything is solid and real, and that you are there. And then there's coming to these meetings because maybe there's a questioning about what's going on. And then there's hearing, no, there's already no one. There's nothing to look for. There's no right, there's no wrong. There's only what is. And it's even not saying that to yourself, because I hear some people say that to yourself, like, oh, it's when there's happening something, and then saying to yourself, oh, it's what it is, something like that. That's a subtle way of dealing with everything. So you can't grasp this. You can't do anything with it. That's also the beauty of it, that there's nowhere to go. You can't do or anything because there's already no one. So there's no advice or no direction or nothing going on. This meeting doesn't have any meaning or doesn't go anywhere or with a purpose or something like that. And that's strange because we are used when we go into a meeting somewhere about life or things like that. There's a direction or there's a search. So there's hoping for some answers or somewhere to go or what not to do anymore or something like that. And then there's coming to this kind of meeting, and there's no answer. It's no direction. There's no meaning in anything. And that urge, that search, going, that trying to find and trying to do that, that it's just not feed it in a way. And then the strange thing is, then it falls apart because you could say that whole system needs to confirm that it's really there, and you can you have a free will and all that. And when that's not confirmed, it falls apart because it's not real. It's not something that's there. It's very easy. It's very normal. This is not special. It's not about becoming special or anything. There's no Rose. There never was Rose. Like saying like here. And there's no individual. So Rose doesn't exist. And we assume that there's Rose with a life and maybe a different way as you have and all that. So we can ask questions how she does it or how did she came to it. Everything is lost. So there's suddenly it's like, oh, Rose wasn't there. There was something going on. I believe that Rose is here and she has to do something and she has a life and all that. And then that suddenly didn't continue. Those thoughts didn't come anymore. And there was suddenly nothing there. But in the same time, the story still goes on. But it seems like a story, but everything is empty. So you could say everything is empty and it's full because there's also feelings and streets and walls and bodies, but nothing is real. Bodies are an appearance. So they're still seeing bodies or sensing or feeling. And in the same time, it's empty. How can you explain it? How can you grasp that? And maybe there can be some recognition somewhere, but maybe not with an understanding or with an understanding. It doesn't matter. It's about a cup of coffee. It's that simple. There's nothing special about life. It's what it is. And what normally is happening when there's me in the story is making something extra of it. Very beautiful, or this is awful, or how can I deal with it? So there's always something extra on top of what's going on. Because life is very neutral. It doesn't see anyone. It's energetic. It's going. It seems like there are a lot of bodies going on. Or maybe there's a wall. And we think that the bodies and the people are more important than anything else. Life doesn't see that. It's everything is as important as something else. So that this face or this sound and talking is not better than the wall. It's the same. There's only one. So there's walling, tabling, sound. There's no meaning. Meaning can be there in the story, but that's also a dream of that it means something. It's not wrong thinking that, but in the same time, there's no importance in anything. So that's the freedom. There's no meaning. It's going nowhere. It is. And the funny thing is, when everything is lost, then before you think like, oh my God, there's that identification with my life, and everything goes wrong when I'm not doing anything or things like that. Because we believe we have control about what's going on. Sometimes maybe not, but most of the time, with our free will, we can make something happen. It never was. There never was control. That's suddenly it's like, oh my God, there was never control. I was so busy doing things, and now there was never control. There's already no one. And it's that simple and that ordinary. It's no big deal. There's no one. That it's also no big deal. It's very normal and everything goes by itself, but it was already like that. So there's nothing lost and there's nothing extra. It's what it is. You could say in the story, what's lost is the idea that there's someone and there's a free will and choice, and that whole dream is lost. But that dream wasn't real already. So in that sense, it's not lost. So there's never has been a loss. Like it can feel like that because that when there's feeling that belief and that construct about I'm here and there's the world and other people and how to behave and busy with that. There's also somewhere a drive. Sometimes you're busy with drying your hair and then suddenly like a drive's going on. You don't even know why, but suddenly that can be that drive is so embodied. So that's not about certain circumstances. It's embodied. And that's that idea that there's a need for something to happen, to go anywhere, to make your life more comfortable or more happy or solve problems, all that. It's very strong. It's coloring everything. So there seems to be problems and things to deal with. And then hearing this, there's no one. So there's no one dealing with it. It was already like that. And that whole dream, you could say, cloud, I don't know, it's not really, but it's a way of talking. It's like so many ideas about how to deal with it and really involved in all that. It doesn't have any power at all. It never had. There was no control. There was no free will. There never was. There was a belief that that was because of you or because of me, but it never was. And then there's what, oh my God, I thought I was doing all that. I was spending all my money about how to live my life and do my best and all that. It was a lot of energy and put in that, seems like that. There can be a lot of energy in that. But so what? There's nothing wrong or right with that. Then there's energy going like that. Life is everything. So it doesn't matter what it is. It can be a lot of thinking about free will and I have my control and all that. Or there can be sitting. It's life is everything. And there's no choice about what's going on. And we think we have the ability to choose. It was already, there wasn't one. There was already no control. So in that sense, nothing changes. It's very easy, very normal. Life is that. And the funny thing is also, life is joy in a subtle way. It's look at little babies. They don't go anywhere. And there's something going on about them. You can see that joy, or little children, really, that just for nothing, just that. And that's life is that. And that can be when there's growing older, then the brain can abstract more. So then there can be suddenly that separation, like, oh, there's someone else over there and I am here. And then the whole story of being I am here and there, and the story about behaving is starting. It's how it's going. It's not wrong or right. It's what's happening, apparently. So we can talk about that, and we can talk about anything. And when there's living in the story and having questions about that, then there's questioning about that. It doesn't mean you have to question about non-duality questions. It doesn't matter. It's everything. It's every question and everything what comes. That's it. So if you want to say something, or you can unmute yourself or type something if you want that, or just sitting.
So Rose, now I'm completely confused.
Oh, right.
If there is no Rose, but there is a body talking, named Rose, we know as Rose, there is a hearing of my speaking. So is there any location? What does hear? What does sounds hear? How do you play your role as a mother or as a wife if there is no one there? Is the story going on in a case? So you see,
Yeah, of
there is
course,
big
of course.
confusion.
Yeah, of course. I can understand. Sure. What's going on? We assume there's a lot of beliefs in assuming how everything is, and that's completely out of the window when there's being in this meeting. So that's like, oh my God, what's going on? Because that we assume that the body is there. It's always there. I'm here, so in the body, and maybe it's not mine. That maybe some people cannot understand, but the body is there. It's real. And hearing that the body isn't real, isn't always there, is strange, because we're so convinced, or not even questioning that. What the brain can do is abstracting. So there are a lot of times there's not feeling, there's only walling. But the brain fills in the gaps. So there's always, when there's assuming the body is always there, then it's like experiencing that all and forgetting all those moments. It wasn't there. So it's not seen or not.
What is
Noticed.
recognizing the walling? What is recognizing it?
No one. Because
Nothing.
we are no, because I love this. It's great. We are so into awareness. We look at ourselves and assuming, I'm hearing myself talking and all that. So that's the normal way of how we experience things. And then suddenly there's hearing. No, that's always two. That's the normal way how we used to, the body is speaking, or it's always two. And then suddenly it's hearing. No, there's only walling. There's no Rose seeing that, or somebody else, or some. No, it's not someone seeing that. It's only walling. And that's, you can't even imagine how that is. You
Yes.
can't, this is not about understanding. It's so crazy, because we're so, this is, how can there be walling without, it has to be, I see the wall, because we assume that it's always because of, I am seeing this because of me. And that's the construct which isn't seen like that. There's no one. And that's crazy, because in everything, normal life, it's about there's someone, and we see it, we do it, whatever.
But Rose is talking. If there is no Rose and if there is no body, what is talking? Talking is
there's sound.
Yeah.
I can.
And
But
you are the sound?
no,
I'm
I'm
not
not the
here.
sound.
There
No,
is
this
sound, and there is
sound.
a mother talking.
Yeah, but we assume that when there's a person and there's a child, and then it's the mother,
There
and
is
there are a
no
lot of
person.
ideas about how a mother
Focus.
should be and all that.
Okay.
Everybody has that, and a child, and how to responsibility. I don't know, a lot of things going on. That's the construct about behaving. And when there's me, and then there's mothers and fathers and sisters and husbands and how to behave, and I need this and all that. That's a dream of that, because we think I'm here and I'm important, because that I feel like it's all about everything is happening with me or to me. And then there's also about something gone wrong, there's something missing, something, coloring everything, because I'm not good enough or you're not good enough or all that. So there's coloring in that. So there's trying to make it right in the story, because we only know the story because that's the real thing. And you're my mother, and you didn't listen to me, and how could you know all that story? Everybody knows all those stories. And when there's me, there's always something going on, like how to behave and all that. And what here is going on, there is no one, so there's also no relation. There's no relation.
But
So
if
there can be irritation, but it's not going towards something, or trying to blame. That's also one. You can't. There's irritation, or it's really like little children. That maybe we know that the best as an example how that's going. It's like, and then it's lost already, and there's playing again. It's going like that. It's very simple. But with that whole brain and everything about how to behave, and that's so embodied, that identification with everything, and things like this is right and this is wrong. And everybody has something different about that. So there's the problem, because everybody thinks differently or feels differently about that. So it's never coming to an end. It's endless. And then there's that search for how can I get out of this? What's going on? And there's hearing, there's no one. What does that mean? Because there's a subtle trying to get out of the problems, or wanting something else, something. And the strange thing is that feeling, trying to get out of it, that's me, what I call me. It's that whole construct that's saying, not saying, but that's saying there's something wrong. And that can be on this kind of meetings, like maybe here I can rid of that thing, but there's nothing wrong. So there can be any feeling, thoughts, all that. There's nothing wrong. It's complete as it is.
When there was the loss of the person Roes, was there any kind of recognition of the story?
No,
Can you
when there were some moments, and then it came back again. But then in the end, how can you say that? It's there was a lot of thinking about everything, and how do I feel and all that. Just what I normally always did, and suddenly that stopped. I don't know why it suddenly stopped, and everything was very clear at that moment. It's like, come on, and then that fell away too. So there was nothing left.
So for you, it's very clear that this body, Nina, is only an appearance.
Not at that moment. At that sudden moment, but it was after that. It was gone. So here is no clarity. That's also very strange. People think like it's very clear for you, or maybe I know it, or something like that. No, it's not. It's when there's a question, it's just there's coming an answer. Like everybody, what we assume that maybe here is different. It's there's an answer, or a response, you could better say.
Okay. And the
And it
story
doesn't.
still
And there's
happens or not?
no meaning. There's no meaning in anything. Also, not in what it said here. It doesn't matter. Oh my God.
Oh, God.
Yeah, it's good. I liked it.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Hi.
if no one wants to ask,
Yeah,
is
just go on.
there any more story for you?
There is no one. I hear a lot of people, not only you, but a lot of people asking about how it's going for Rose here in this life. But that you can't even imagine. I think it's difficult to imagine that there's no Rose. So there can be that seeing a hand or all that, but there's no time, so there's no continuation, and it's not clear, but you could more say it's the loss of all those beliefs. When those beliefs are not that strong anymore, it's suddenly like, oh, how could I believe that? It's so obvious. It's not. Oh no, it's not like that. So it's more like that. It's more the loss. It's not being, because what we normally do is trying to understand and know more and more and more. But it's more like less, and it's nothing left. And all those beliefs and concepts about how life is, it's lost. And then suddenly, oh God, of course, that was always like that. But I thought I was in that. But no, of course not. It's so obvious. It's more like that. So there's no life of Rose. And although the story, there's still going on. There's meetings, and that's strange because but the story is empty. Everything is empty. So there's no importance in that. But it can be much pain or sadness or the table. What I'm normally what I'm doing is, because we are so focused on what's going on with me, that there can be sadness, but it's not in the body. That sadness can there, and crying maybe, and there's also the table. There's nothing more important than something else. So the table is as important as the crying.
And what's with meeting a friend? How does this work, meeting a friend?
Well, it's the same. There's talking, and what can be the difference, but it's not so much doing or noticed. Most of the time, it's even not noticed by someone. It's not here, but there's nothing going on that trying to make it better or trying to something or right and wrong. There's no right and wrong. So in that sense, it's different, maybe. Because in a normal in a lot of conversations, it's trying to convince or all that's gone. But normally, I think a lot of people around me, they don't know anything about this. I don't talk about that. I don't care. The funny thing is the sharing of this, that this is so being in love, that unconditional love. It's not Rose, but it's life is that. So the sharing is in everything. It doesn't matter. They can talking about this in the meetings and very, very clear about there's no one. But when they're talking to a friend, that's not saying, and she's my mother and I'm busy with that. I'm not saying, oh, but there's no mother. No, it's just normal talking.
Okay. We can't imagine, I think.
Yeah.
If the me is there, it's a misery. It's hard to imagine that the me is no longer there.
Yeah. But there can be some concepts that can happen in those meetings, that some concepts who were very strong, and then maybe those concepts are not that strong anymore. That can happen in these meetings. I don't know. It's so different for everybody.
Thank you, Rose. Maybe I will phone you.
Oh, yeah, sure, you can.
I would like to. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Hello.
Hi, Noor.
Hello. Coming now, I was a little bit excited to be on the Zoom for the first time.
Oh, great. Yeah, of course.
I'm not washed. I didn't clean my teeth. It's okay. It's okay. I have, when I speak too long, cut me off, please. I feel very guilty and don't know what to do about my friend who is in the psychiatric hospital. And she's in a very, very bad state. Maybe she's gonna die. And I said no to her. And that conflict is like tearing me apart. Like, why did I say no? I know why. And Do you know, I don't know what to do with this human. Oh, I should go to her. And for the first time, I said no. And
but there's only this room, and there can be a lot of thoughts about what's going on, and that's what that whole construct's doing. Like, you should do this, and this is better, and this is wrong, and this is it's an endless. It's never enough, and it's always something else. It jumps from this to that.
Yeah, but it's
and in the same time, it's sitting, and it's drinking tea, and it's that. There's nothing much going on. That dream can be very strong, and it jumps on something like that.
Yeah,
But it's a dream, but it can be very. It
yeah,
seems very real, of course.
it looks like I'm like figuring out in my mind, because like, oh, she's not existing, like a trick, like she's not existing. There's only like wow.
But there can be some clarity about there's no one and all that, and using that. But that feels also a little bit as a trick in that. But then in the same time, it's very, very normal. Like, they're sitting on that chair, and then there's that, and there's talking, and then there can be a lot of thoughts, but they seem to have meaning and are really important. But they're only thoughts, and they come and go, and there's something else, and there's something else, and just walking, and then do the lights on, and that's what's apparently is happening. It's going nowhere. Those thoughts are just only thoughts. They don't go anywhere. It's endless. And what's happening here in these meetings also, it's not feeding that. It's just seeing, there's thoughts, so there can be thoughts. There's nothing going on. But what we do, what that whole construct is trying to solve it, trying to come to a solution or an end. It never will.
Yeah, it's no like solution. I heard once about, I don't know if it are fishes or like crabs. I don't know exactly. It's just symbolic. Like, there are a lot of fishes or crabs in a hot pot of water, and one wants to escape, and the other animals try. The one wants to escape, and the other wants to suck. Like, it's like this process. I want to get out, and everything in my cells or guilt or is no. Okay, what to do?
I don't know. Yeah, it makes it complicated, I think. When you it's like there can be a lot of thoughts, but they don't go anywhere. They don't have any meaning, but it feels like, oh, it's very important. But at the same time, they're sitting. What is important? What is more important? Those thoughts are not. I can only say that. I don't have any clues, I think. But
so
thoughts are not more important than anything else. It's only thoughts.
So, and then I stop. So she is not existing? Is that true?
No, that's
another. You know what I mean?
That's another thought, and that it's very clever system. So there are gonna be all those thoughts, and then suddenly you say, yeah, but she doesn't exist, because you want to feel a bit normal again and not guilty or not, and you trying everything to feel good again. But there can be feelings. But they don't. It's not about her or about the situation. Feelings can arise, and then there are feelings, or maybe there's nothing going on, there's just going to the toilet, then that's what's happening. So it's very neutral. It's going nowhere. This is everything. There's no outside. This is everything. And a thoughting can happen, making it something. Well, they come and go. Yeah.
But you also say there are no relations. There's only
there are
one.
no relations.
Just fuck it, Okay. I just have to die. I don't know how, but I have to die. I don't know how to do it. It's awful.
You don't have to die. There's already no.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Okay. And but I'm also, and at the same time, I'm very angry for all these fucking circumstances. Always something
But there can
wrong.
be anger. There can, but we are related. There's no relation. We are related to the circumstance. The circumstance has nothing to do. There can be circumstances. They're there and they're new. So then there and there's this and there's this room. That's also circumstances. And there can be anger. It's not happening in the body. It seems like it's mine
Yes.
and it's because of this. It's assuming that that's because of that. There's no because. There's only anger. There can be anger. Yeah, sure. But for no reason.
Oh, that's fucking crazy.
It is.
Yeah, it's fucking. My God.
Mm.
Yeah. Okay. It feels more hopeless than ever.
Ah,
It can be.
yeah.
What can I? It's,
Yeah. But there's also sitting. It's not only, we are so busy with ourselves. That's
yeah.
not only you, of course, but that it's about how do I feel? What's going on here? There's also the floor and that the table and sitting and all that. It's so wow. That's amazing. It's life. It's everything. And we are focused on how it's going and it's that and then looking at that and that. Well, they're they're sitting, they're wall. It's that too.
Yeah, but it feels like possessed, like I'm just making it simple now. It
Mm.
feels like this body is if I can laugh, what is laugh? Lachen? Laughen?
Laugh,
I
laugh.
will
Yeah.
do it. If I can enjoy something, I do it. Huh? But it's
Mm.
like this possession, like a source outside of me, myself. It's like
Mm-hmm.
want to hurt me all the
Yeah.
time. Yeah, yeah, you are good. You're not a good friend. You this.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like
yeah.
a possession. Like it's you say,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. When I see a nice flower or I hear a
Mm-hmm.
bird,
Yeah, of course.
I'm
Mm.
more
Yeah, sure.
grateful than ever for little
Yeah,
things. I'm more
yeah.
grateful for
Mm-hmm.
little things. I don't have to travel the world anymore to feel a
Mm-hmm.
little bit good for
Mm-hmm.
little
Yeah,
things. I'm happy, but like it's
yeah.
like I feel like in a kind of victim. Yeah, it's
But
like
there
my
suddenly
yeah.
there's a lot of things already, but then there are certain circumstances, certain issues. That's why I'm talking about embodied. Then suddenly it jumps on that and that whole me going on and you're not good enough and all that. It's just rough like that. So that can be very strong, maybe even stronger than ever, because that's fighting for its life. And it seems like it's very, oh, wow, 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 it's only fighting for its life. It's going nowhere. It's not even important, but it feels like, oh my God, what's going on? But that's why I'm saying it's also the table, because it's not more important than anything else.
Yeah. Oh, okay. No solution. No solution.
No solutions.
Ah.
No, they don't need to, because it's complete. Well, it feels like I don't want this, I want something else. Yeah, there's no choice. And that seems like maybe something. No choice. So what? No choice. It's everything. But when there's me, that me construct, it's always like, I want this, I don't want that. And then there's trouble because that's a fight. Like, oh, yeah, but I don't want that. I want something else. Yeah, that's the fight. That's me. It's feeding that whole construct. It's everything. There can be a lot of thoughts coming or anger like that. Yeah, sure. That that's life. There's no choice. Mm. Maybe you can mute yourself because all the sound is going. Yeah, thanks.
I go again if nobody talks. Like, for example, I eat at night still, and I'm too fat. You cannot see that because I'm only in my head, and I don't know what to do about it. Like, why? I'm still stuffing myself full with food because I hate my body, and I don't know. And it feels really like, oh, I'm just a destructive person. I'm.
But that's the same story about there's something
mad.
not right. There's something not right with you. It's endless. It jumps on that eating thing, or that jumps on that how to deal with something. That feeling, I'm not good enough, or I'm wrong, or all that. That's the construct, and it seems very strong. And when it's there, it's there. But it's the only thing. It's a misunderstanding. But you can't say, oh, I'm not doing that. I'm not feeling awful. But there's nothing wrong with that also. And that's strange to hear because we have so many ideas about it should be like this. And no, it's life is that. Life is eating a lot. Yeah. So what? Then there's that body. Then that body is like that. There's nothing wrong with that or right. It's like that.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, there's a question here. What's the difference between real and unreal? Can you explain a bit? Real. What seems about real, when normally when there's I am here in my life, then it feels like everything is real and solid and stable, and my body, and there's a living in time and distance, so that's also real. Time is real. We can also imagine like maybe there's no yesterday or the dates and all that, or the time, but time, when there's no time, when they're saying there's no time, there's also time is not real. It's a construct. We're so into before and after, let's say, or continuation, all that. So there's a lot with time. It's a lot of concepts about time. So that's also falling away. And everything seems real because when there's that feeling like I'm here and I'm in the world and it's a threat because how can I have to live my life, and it's like, oh my God, how will I do it, and all that. So there's trying to feel safe and happy and all that. So there's a lot of beliefs and behaving about how to deal with that. So there's making things it's when it's real and solid, it seems like, oh, this becomes very important and threatening because if I do the wrong thing, maybe I'll die or everything goes wrong. So there are going to be a lot of things going on, like trying to feel safe and how to behave and all that. So it makes it even more real or more solid and contracted in that way. And then hearing nothing is real. It's a misunderstanding that there's separation or that you are separated from other people. There is no separation, but because we can abstract, it seems like that. Then I'm here and there's the table. It's so it's so embodied, those concepts, that then hearing that there's no distance, that's a construct, that there's over there and over here. It's a construct. It's crazy to hear because we're so sure that there's here and over there. So that's, in a way, it seems real. And saying, no, there's no distance and nothing is real. It's an appearance. So it's an appearance. So that nothing is real. It's energy and nothing is happening. And in the same time, you could say, there's an appearance of walls and streets and sensations, but not for anyone. There is no one. There is no like a body and there's inside that's real, and it's happening something to that body is it also not real. So everything is one soup, one blank soup with all kind of seems like different things in it, but there's no borders. Or that's because we see, like, it's when they're seeing this, there seems to be a border, my body, and that's air maybe, or something like that, assuming that there's no border. That's a misunderstanding. But we are so into everything is solid and real because I want to survive. I'm real, I exist. So then everything is seen in that way, in that color. So it's a threat when there's hearing, there's no time or continuation, because then it's saying, oh, you don't exist. Oh, there's so much investment in I'm alive and this is my life with friends and people around and all that. Yeah. And there's something, is it like being backed away from the body and watching the story happen? No, because that's also a distance. That seems like there's looking at something, and that that can be, some people have that it's like there's a distance and that makes everything more, yeah, nothing is going on and I'm all right and it doesn't matter and all that. It seems like that. But this is full on. Everything is full on. There's nothing in between. So there's a feeling. It's not Roes feeling. It's a feeling somewhere. It's felt. And we assume it's felt by someone. We can't even imagine that someone doesn't exist. It doesn't matter. The funny thing is, we're so afraid of dying and all that. But there never was something, there was never a beginning. So there's also no end. It's crazy. But it's so simple. It's so simple. It's like, oh, wow, what I did, all that complication and beliefs and all that, it was so real. It's so simple. There's no beginning, no end, no big deal.
Okay, Rose. I'm a
Right. Yeah.
question machine. I produce many questions. Like Tony said a long time ago in the meetings, there's a killer in the room. There's a
Nah.
killer in the room. Like I feel a little bit better from the guilt because I connect now. I think I connect with you or the Zoom meeting, because normally I feel like in this kind of issues, like problems, like I feel like floating in the ocean on myself and I don't know what to do anymore. There's no help, no hope. And now and then, like it seems like there is no process, but it seems like there's a, you know what I mean, like there's a killer in the room. What, like there is still a little hope. What is this killer then? Is that love, God, whatever? It's so paradoxal. I don't know.
Yeah, it's the killer of that construct that thinks that you are that me, and you
Yeah.
have to deal with everything and all that. It doesn't see that. So when it's not seen, it falls apart. That you could say that's the killing. It falls apart because it needs confirming. It's being busy when there's that thought like, oh, you did something wrong, and it's going and it's listening and there's someone listening. You could say that. When there's no one listening, so that falls apart. When no one's listening, then it can't go on. So that's, you could say in those meetings, there's no one listening to those feelings like, oh, I'm not good enough and all that, and what's the problem and all that. There's no answer.
Yeah. So it's not fair. Why
Yeah.
is it not happened to me then?
But I'm more special, I think.
Yeah. What? It's so,
No,
that's still a belief.
there's a loss. There's a lot. It's about loss.
Yeah, tell me.
Everything is lost.
Fuck. Yeah.
So there's no escape from anything anymore.
No,
There's no one in between. There's no life of Rose. It's not happening to Rose. No. It's Rose is out of the window. That idea of Rose. Yeah. It's an idea. It's a construct that there's Rose and she has a life and that's that me could say. That's me. All that. It's out of the wind. There's no one dealing with anything. That never was. But that's so convincing and strong that there's someone inside and she does things and she's not good enough and all that. It's a misunderstanding, but it's so embodied. It's so strong. I'm busy with that, trying to deal with that. I don't want that anymore. All that. There's no choice.
Yeah. So it happens when it happens. So
Yeah, of
I'm a
course.
little bit, what?
But it's not happening to you.
Yeah.
It's nothing. It's not when there's a feeling, then that feeling is there. It's not because of anything. There's no because. It's only that. It's that feeling can be there, and then there's something else.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I hate you. I love you.
Ah.
I hate you. I love you. Fuck it all.
Yeah.
Give me a suicide pill. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Oh,
Oh, there's a knowing that there are no bodies. How do the body look like for you? How do you know that's an appearance? Bodies are it's the same. The body, they're seeing bodies like, I don't know, of course, how do you see things, but it's it's normal, just bodies and books and streets and all that is normal. And there's subtly, how can you say that? It's not a seeing, but it's also not a knowing. Everything is empty. And it's an appearance. Well, it's what it is. It's not so that there's a knowing because that's something extra on top of what's being around, but it's a loss of that everything is real. That belief that everything is real, it's a belief and solid and all that. And that can be less or suddenly not there and then it comes back or not there anymore. And there's a loss of that belief. So it's obvious. It's always was like that. But there's on top of that, there's coming that belief and that's so embodied and feeded and normal. But it needs confirming. So it's busy all the time, always busy trying to and all that. And sometimes in these meetings, that trying is not feeded, so it's not confirmed and all that. So it can be sometimes that also the questions don't come so much anymore in those meetings. So it's not knowing anymore what to say, and then the meeting is over and rough, it jumps back again, or something like it. It's so different, or not. It can be different. So it's about loss. It's not about knowing. No, there's no knowing. There's no knowing at all. It's not knowing. What do you know about in an hour? You don't know. I don't know. Rose is like a bird. A bird. Something. It seems that it's rooted in our belief system. Yeah, there's a belief, a lot of beliefs and concepts about how life is, how to behave, what's right, what's wrong, how the world is looking, and there's so many concepts and beliefs. And sometimes it's you know it, and sometimes it's not even seen or noticed. It's so strong. Yeah. And this is about those beliefs and concepts which are completely out of the window and not seeing as real. And we're so as humans so identified with everything, and it seems like this is my life with everything, and then hearing no, there's no one inside. The body is even not real, so it seems like then everything is lost, no control. How could we do that everything? Because we are so convinced that control is important. There never was control. Oh. There's no justice, there's no responsibility, all that, because that's all about me having to behave in a certain way, or it's happening to me and that's not fair and all that. No, there's no escape. There can be any circumstances, of course, being ill, being cold, I don't know, anything. But there's no one inside, so it's not happening to me. There can be pain or, I don't know, any feeling, of course. But we always think it's because of circumstances. And on that moment can be thinking like, yeah, it's because of that. Well, it's that feeling, and then there's something else.
So these belief systems need to fall away, right? It's all rooted in this belief system and in these constructions of the brain. And if this fall away, then there is nothing more to be based on.
Yeah, that's clever, because it's not like that.
No?
Because we always find something that when I work on those belief systems and they get less and less, maybe that's the end. And then there's a still continuation of that going and trying and all that, because there's something wrong with the belief system. Then it's jumping from this to that, because there's always something else then that there's wrong. There's nothing wrong with a belief system. It's only a misunderstanding, but there's nothing wrong with it. It's also life.
But there is no more belief system with you?
No, there's no, there's
No.
that, but it's obvious that there never was a rose or something there, or that doesn't arise anymore. You could say it does not arise, something like that. It's just not coming, or
okay.
It's not that I know or something about. No.
Okay. I know that I can't do anything. I know it's really hard.
But it's not about you can't do anything. It's about there is no
one.
That's worse.
Thanks a lot.
Oh wow! Oh wow!
Yeah.
Lovely.
Okay. Okay. Thanks.
But wow. But Rose, when I ask you about my friend in a psychiatric hospital, I said to you, so there is nobody in the psychiatric hospital. When I would forget about her, is she then there or not? No, I think there's nothing outside of me.
No.
Yeah.
No. There's only that room.
Yeah.
It's an idea that we think it's still continuation about what's going on, and a lot of ideas about that. Yeah.
because I thought before when I asked this question, you said maybe when I use it as a trick, it's not working.
Yeah, but sometimes you can use it like, oh, saying to yourself like, oh, I don't have to worry because there's nobody here. And
Yeah.
it seems like a trick, but yeah, I can hear you that there's no one there. There's this room. There's no
Oh,
hospital
yeah.
or something like that. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Wow. Wow. It's
Yeah, but it's that simple. How can you not? How can you say it's not like that? It's that there's only this. What's more than this? There can be an imagination about things outside. Okay, that can be, but it's only that, only thoughts or images. But where is it? Is that literally?
oh, yeah.
Mm.
Oh.
Mm. In the story, when you didn't see your body, was everything around looking the same? Yeah, there was a moment that all before this, the whole thing was collapsed. Then there was some moment in the garden, then there was nobody, and the whole garden was still there. Yeah, and it was normal because I thought afterwards it wasn't that bright or love or all that what I thought it would be. Then when there's no one, then it will be so God. No, there's the only thing wasn't there wasn't a body. There, so and I didn't see the body, and then everything was just normal birds and green and all that. So strange. And then that moment also, what afterwards, I was like laughing about myself because I thought, oh, the body isn't here. How can I get it back? So I tried to eat things and to make coffee to get it back. It was so funny afterwards. It's like, but that was so strong. Yeah. And then I was calling Tony because I was like, oh, how do I get it back? It was still there. Something, I don't know. I didn't see it, I think. And then he said, you get used to it. It's no big deal. And then after a while, just like, oh, it's still here. And then, but it was such a strange thing. Yeah. I never imagined when I heard was going to meetings already years. I heard everything is an appearance, but I never imagined that it's also about the body. No, can be. Mm. Yeah, Noor is living in the Netherlands. Oh. Mm. somebody is saying, talking, hearing, seeing is in space. It's without any location. Yeah, there's no location. That's what we normally think, because that's about distance, and I'm here and that's over there. It's, yeah, well, it's not in space also. Yeah, how can I say? When there's walling, it's walling. It's not walling in space. It's walling. It's that, or sound. That's everything. Nothing else, you could say, of not happening in something or something like that. It's sound, table. But it jumps, and it's not only the seeing. It's sound, smell, and it's and then it changes. It's going very fast. And normally we think we are in between, and we are hearing the sound. It's only sound. If only there is sound. That's, yeah. Without meaning, that's the joy. There's no meaning in life. It's what it is. That. Not even knowing maybe what it is, or how to say it, or how to feel it, or there can be a sensation somewhere. You don't know what it is. Then, so what? We're so, it's that feeling we're not good enough, or there should be something else, or when knowing, or fear of that somebody says, oh, that's wrong, or all that. That's so, that it's so embodied, that and that feeling of that belief that there's something wrong and it should be different, and busy with that. It colors everything. And the strange thing is, when that's not there, it's so normal, it's not even missed. So strange. It's seeing that blue sky. I'm jealous. Here is so much rain. Just close your screen. There's somebody saying lower back pain, and it feels it's in the body. Yeah, but when that's so embodied, that belief that that the body is real and I'm in that, and the pain is feeling in the body, then the experience and the belief, they belong together. So yeah, then it feels like it's in the body. Yeah. But it's also funny and strange to hear, oh, it's not in the body, it's somewhere, and it's not even yours. Huh? And maybe the next moment it's already gone, and then it feels still like it's mine and all that. Yeah.
Hi, Rose. I'll make you a bit more jealous.
Oh my God, no!
I'm 5 minutes from my house, so.
Oh my God, yeah, you live there. Oh wow, it's amazing. It
Yeah,
looks good.
enjoying being outside instead of
Yeah.
sitting at home all the time. So
Yeah. With all the
yeah.
boats. Oh, you live near the sea.
Yes, I'm 2 minutes walk from the beach, and this is the
Oh.
small like harbor. It's not really
Mm.
fishing anymore, it's just leisure. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, you got me jealous. Oh wow, it's amazing. It looks good.
Yes. Yeah, it's very pretty. Yeah.
Hi, Rose.
Hi.
Hi. 2 days ago, I was watching a film at the TV, and then I started crying because the main character was similar my father, and but it was just a memory. There is no family, there is no father, there is no daughter, there's nothing.
Just crying. Yeah. Yeah.
That
Okay.
was just crime, or can be a memory. Now, you named
Yeah, a memory. Yeah, sure.
Tony Parson.
Mm.
Nah, this was my daughter ringing. Tony Parson. Some of us know who is, but it was just a memory. Tony Parson doesn't exist, isn't? Is
No.
it so?
No. There can be an image coming, and then that's what's happening. Yeah. That's
But
everything.
for example, my father has never existed,
No.
or no, never.
No.
It's like me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. The same. Yeah.
Mm. But yeah, it's very difficult to accept.
Well, you can't accept that. You don't need to. Why should you? That's the straight. It's then there's a story like I am accepting it. This is about there's no one. So it's not about accepting. No. There can be a
Yeah, it's
belief
always a
there
story.
and or not, and then maybe that belief is strong or maybe that not that strong. Yeah. But accepting is something of the story in the story. And there's a feeling.
When I listen,
Yes, go on.
now when I listening to my friends telling me about their stories, I'm thinking, it's just a story, but it's a new story on the stories.
Yeah.
Because I'm putting a story on their stories. Isn't it?
In that way. Yeah.
Yes, I say, I cannot believe them anymore. I listen to them and they say it's just words. It's just memories, just stories. It can be interesting or it can be annoying, but just a story.
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
It's not real anymore. But when I put a comment is another story I put on it. I think.
Yeah, but there's still story going on, but there's nothing in it that can be talking about anything, and that's just coming. It's just that's going by itself too. There's nothing real in it or important, but it's not noticed because that's noticing like, oh, this is a story. That's that me looking at it and think when that's noticing isn't there, it's just there's just story talking about mothers or something else. And then it's lost then it's lost again because it's I don't know, it's 5 minutes later, I don't even remember. Yeah. But there's nothing going on because when there's something going on like, oh, it's just a story, it's making it subtly wrong in a way, and there's nothing wrong with the story or people talking in the story. Just talking in the story, believing they're real and all that. Yeah, so what? Then there's nothing going on trying to convince them that that's not true, all that. No, or being above them, like, oh my God, she's still believing that, or all that. No, it's that. It's also the story. And that people like that, that's unconditional love, and it's life, and it's telling stories. Yeah, so that's also life. There's no importance in it, of course, but so.
Yeah, thank you.
Mm-hmm. And it's easily forgotten. Also, yeah. What is death? Death is, in the story, there can be death. We talk about death and being alive. But there's no death. There's what's happening. And then we think there's a beginning, so there will be an end. We are born and we are going to die, all that. And we also talk about death like the death of me, but it's not really death, but it can feel like that, or we can talk about that because that the me feels I'm here, and that feels very real and identified with that, and so they can be talking about death, but that's not really death, and that's about killing the me and all that. But me has never been real, but it can feel so real that in the story we talk about that. But in the end, there's nothing happening. So it's an appearance of there's an idea of there's me going on. But there never was me. So there's also no death of me. And there's also never was Roes existing or somebody else. So there's also no death. Maybe there's a body and that's not moving. Can be. And there's somebody, John, there's somebody in the waiting room. When I'm real and I'm here in this story, and there's also a fear of death, because then there's loss of that whole body and life, maybe of somebody else also. Yeah. Can we have lunch together? I don't know. In Catherine's place, yeah. Oh, wow. Thank you so much for the talk today. Thank you. Great. Yeah. There's this. This is everything. There's this room, the wall, it's walling. That's everything. There's a hand, that's everything. It's like that. There's nowhere to go. When there's closing the computer, that's everything. And that's life already. There's no need for anything more than that. It's everything. And life is unconditional love. It's unconditional. I call it love. It's unconditional. When it's unconditional, there's no rules. That's the freedom. It doesn't matter what it is. It can be a lot of thoughts. It can be, it's what it is. It's neutral. There's no, this is better than that or more important. Nothing is more important than anything else. It's what it is, not for anyone, not to anyone. It's what it is. A face, a street, a sensation, smell. It's that already. It's already everything. There's no need to go anywhere or to do anything else. It's already that talking, that face. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.